So this drawing is perspective 4. I think this one is really very straightforward. There's one hole that goes through it, and this is where you come back to using that experience that you gained in multi-views with being able to look through something and see that there is something there. Okay, so I'm going to start with the oblique first, and what I can do is do the same thing I've been doing, which is start by just grabbing text right off the bat, so I don't have to come back and do it later. So I'll try to do this in two videos and try to go as fast as I can. And again, just go back and pause where needed. So general principle again is look at the object and it's in terms of its overall. Think about it like a block, and then think about carving pieces out of the block. So at its highest, I can see this object is 4. At its longest or widest, I can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the depth of the object front to back would be 4. Okay, so I'll start with the oblique, and I can see I've got a bunch of ins and outs going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over 1. You can see that I'm set up now on that 30, right, 60. This is where you want to be careful, is that you're not snapping over this way. If you missed previously how I did that, now at this point I won't be coming down here to enter. This is the way under this polar button down here. If I hit the drop down, I can choose 30, 60, 90, 120. So at this point, I won't ever have to type in, 30 or 150 or 210 or angle 330. I can just go until that green polar dashed line comes up. Okay, so if I start over here now, I can see, okay, I'm going to go back. It looks like 3. And then I'm going to come this way 2. And then we probably won't see this line, but I'm going to use it. Just kind of keep going with the process. It means I come back to this way, over 1. See, I have the same type of thing going on, which is 2. And I go over 2. And I go over 1. And if it helps you, come back over and shoot this in at 6 and connect the dots. And again, think about the Lego castle, right? What have I done? I have created my my first row of bricks, I guess you could say, like on the Lego castle, like on the green thing. Okay, so now I can see that going up here on this back portion at its tallest portion, that's a height of 4. Pretty straightforward. Just go up 4 and go ahead and copy that. I'm just going to drop it in 2 places, right there and right there. And now it looks like I can copy some other things as well. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just kind of continue this over, because I'm going to need a point in space, which is this one, but it needs to be up here. So I'm going to copy this. Remember, we really never want to have 2 lines that are this, we'd rather have 1. We don't want to have line segments. But this one might get to be a little bit goofy, so I'm going to do that. In fact, I don't even think I need to do that. Nope, I never really did. So get rid of that little stick that I drew. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and copy this one over to here. And again, we know we won't see this back piece, but do I have a line that's already 1? I sure do. So I'll go ahead and copy this and bring it up and drop it there. Okay. So I don't need this anymore, nor do I need this anymore. Those can go away. Now, we have this angle. I'm not going to try to calculate it. I'm just going to work from what I know, which is over on this side, I have a height of 1. So I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to go up 1. And I'm going to copy this. And I don't need this anymore. I'll never be able to see it. All right, so now this is the part where we snap these lines, and this gives us our slope. Just copy it, bring it over. Okay, it's really important. A lot of people want to go ahead and connect all the way to the back of this, but again, look, you have it's flat on the top right here. Okay, and go ahead and do this number. Now we know we're going to have some vertical lines, and rather than trying to calculate what all these vertical lines are, I'm going to just copy this line, and I'm going to drop it on every intersection that I know requires a vertical line. You're going to see a lot of stuff sticking up into the air, and it's just not going to look right. Okay. So I'm going to leave all this stuff that's sticking up alone. And what I'm going to do is copy this, and this is going to grab the bottom. This is where students tend to really make a mistake, is right here. This piece goes up parallel to this slope. So now I can just trim out things that I don't need. I don't need that. I don't need that. I won't see any lines going through the object. I don't need that. I don't need that. Nothing's going to stick up here. Nothing will stick up here. Nothing will stick up here. And then I have this little piece right here, which I want to get rid of. And that's another common mistake that students tend to make. Okay. And another common mistake that students tend to make is not finishing trimming. So, oops. Go ahead and draw a line right here. And this is like where people want to leave this this piece in place. Nope, I can't see that, and I can't see that, and I can't see that. Okay. So this looks great. Again, don't forget to trim this line here. Don't forget to look in here. And this is where I got to deal with a hole. Okay. And it looks like that's a 2-inch diameter hole. And it looks like it's up. I got to go to the center. So from the front, it is up 1, 2, and over 2. And this is where I want to go ahead and use that construction line technique. I'm going to draw right on top of here. And I'm going to go up 2. I'm going to go over 2. I believe that's correct. And now I'm just going to use an ellipse. So go back here. Go to object lines. Why is it an ellipse? Because the circle is not right on the face, right? So in this case, I'll go to my ellipse tool. I click on the endpoint where it's got to be, and I just type in the radius, which is 1, and then I type in, so 1, enter, I type in half the radius. Okay? And this is again where I want to do that yes or no test. And the easiest, I think you can just typically see. So I select it, I select rotate. I want to rotate it right from there. And I think you can stop at these 30-degree increments all the way along, and you can do a yes or no test. Is that right? No, it's coming off the object. That's totally not right. That's totally not right. That looks somewhat right. In fact, the way it was originally, you can see that there's parallelism in there, and that should be just fine. Sometimes, depending on the thickness or the thinness of an object, if I were to go back here, and I know that the object's thickness is 1, sometimes what you'll actually see, and this is a perfect case, so it can only be right if you copy this and bring it back. In other words, you're seeing completely through the object, if that makes sense. Okay, get rid of this, get rid of that, right? The thickness of this piece is thin enough that if I look through here, I can actually see that back edge, okay? So that would be the object in its entirety. Forgot to delete that, that construction line right there, and that's it. In terms of dimensioning on this one, I'll leave it to the end, but I'm going to use my aligned dimension, and what I'd like you to dimension is this distance along that slope, which becomes 5.83 if you did it correctly.